Okay, super. So we're going to talk about the careers of the future in the next 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and perhaps we have 5 or 7 minutes to answer any questions that you have. Really, our goal today is to help you make great decisions for your life in the future. I will share a little bit about me. I've already told you who I am and what I do for a living. Before this, I was a former banker in data analytics. I worked for some famous banks in the US. One was Bank of America, the other one was BBVA Compass Bank, which is a Spaniard based bank. I also worked after my banking career, I went to work in consulting in data and AI transformation. And you might recognize these logos, you might not, but what it is when you become a consultant, I worked for a company called Genpact International and another one called Grant Thornton. And what we did was we built business transformation and AI transformation for other banks. And I was coming from being a banker, and then I became a data and AI transformation professional. And I've been doing this for the past 14 years of my life. Some of the schools that I went to know the stuff that I know. One of them is Tulane University. I got my master's from them in finance and banking. And then I went to the New York City Flatiron School, an immersive program in data science, and I became a data scientist. So what we're going to do today, we're going to come together and experience a little bit about what's happening today and how that can help you. We're going to talk about the now, and we're going to talk also about why is data so powerful and why is AI so powerful and how it actually works and links into today. And then lastly, I will share with you my view on the careers of the future. So let's start by thinking about what is data science and what is AI really. As people, we started with riding horses or walking to get to places, right? And then we built different machines that got us to places much faster. Well, AI and data science is sort of, in my view, the Formula One car that gets us from place A to place B much faster than any other vehicle. And what's happening right now is that data is part of everything that we do. And data basically can summarize any single universe that we can see. We can summarize the universe itself. Data is present in cities. Data is present when people attend events. Data is present in your own body. So we can extract data from pretty much any single environment that we see, right? And what we do with data science is we discover patterns and we discover things in those data sets, wherever they coming from, and we can predict things to happen, or we can discover things that otherwise we wouldn't know. So, some of you are very familiar with data and AI and how some companies work with data. For example, if you look at your Netflix and you pick your movies, you will realize that Netflix is telling you what to watch, or it knows what you like to watch. And they do that through a system called a recommendation system, which is actually a data model that is able to read in a massive amount your likes and dislikes. You're also familiar with Instagram and how it shows you different posts that you may like. So the algorithm, and when I say algorithm, I'm talking about the instructions that the computer receives based on your behavior, can tell you and can predict what you're probably or possibly going to like in the future. Right now, I feel that there's a lot of information with data science, AI, analytics, and people really feel a little bit lost on where to go, and they don't know where to take. And if you're trying to make a career choice, what you really want to do is you really want to go straight, right? And that's the reason why you're here today. And as I'm going to explain some of the things that happen with AI and data science and why is it important, hopefully after After 15 minutes that we talk, you have a more straight path as to where you want to go. You won't be feeling like, where do I go from now? You feel like a straight path moving forward. So what I really want to do is I want to give you some precise information so that you can target your career for the future and start planning for it for the future. Really, what AI is, it's a helping hand. Some of you already use it may use it on your school, but it's a helping hand between the knowledge that's available in the world and the computers, right? So you shouldn't be scared from it. You should know that there's a lot of opportunities coming your way with these new technologies. The basis of artificial intelligence, it's really relies on databases. And I'm going to get to how this relates to your career in just a moment. Businesses are growing. Businesses utilize data, financial data, medical data in just different types of industries. And they store that data in something called databases. In those databases can actually be small databases. You've probably seen Excels. You've probably seen charts. You've probably seen different types of databases that they can have 100 values, they can have 10,000 values, or they can have a million values. And the challenge is that right now we're creating so much data that we need that helping hand of AI to be able to grab that data and do something with it. So that's when the careers of the future come. The careers of the future are going to be those careers that are able to access that data, navigate that data, and infer and realize things that otherwise are unknown to the human brain. Because there is no way that with your human brain you can actually look at a 10,000 or a million value points database and realize what you're looking at or what information is there. So that's what AI helps us with, and that's what data science helps us with. It helps us navigate those big data sets. I just wanted to show you a little bit of a view of how data looks on the inside and how it's organized behind artificial intelligence. There are different types of models that are built, and the careers of the future will be for those people that can build this kind of models to get intelligence from those databases. Okay, and what we have learned so far is a little bit about what data science is, which is the ability to navigate big data sets, big databases. It is important because our brain can't really understand it. Another thing that we have talked about is we're trying to get focus on the myriad of information that there is available to make choices for your career. We've also talked about databases, how databases are really the base for AI and how they need to be accessed. And we finally looked at some models of how actually data is organized and how there are different models for it that can get us that information. So now, how do you forge your career in the future? How do you make that career happen? Where do you go? What are the first steps? Well, a good way of understanding that is understanding that right now there's big companies, you probably have heard of them, that use generative AI that can help you do tasks. What's behind those tasks are the models that I just showed you. And there are people who build those models, and the people who build or sell or utilize those things are the people who will practice in the future, right? And so we have two sides of the story. We have the AI side of the story where you can get careers that allow you to build artificial intelligence models and allowed you to use for a specific purpose that AI. Or we can also go to the data side, and as you know, AI basically lives off on data, and for that data to be utilized, there's big companies that hold that data, and you have experienced some of them: Amazon, Microsoft, Google. They hold this data, and we can do something with this data. And the careers of the future will actually be those careers who actually will work either on the front end or on the back end, building database models, managing database models. The career of the futures will be in different industries. You guys are um, a broad community, a broad audience. I don't know specifically what you want. Whether you want to be a doctor, whether you want to be a builder, whether you want to be whatever you want to be in whatever industry you want to be. We are going to need people that know how to work with data, know how to work with AI. And these are the names and the careers of the future that, for example, in my own company, when I go and solve data problems for my customers, I employ. So at the top, there is a data strategist like myself who meets with the client, understand the data environment, and understands what can actually be done with AI or the data of a business. On the right hand side, I employ to execute a project, I employ a project manager or an architect for IT projects. So that's another career of the future that's going to have a very high growth. In terms of the data, when we acquire the data from our clients, we look for data analytics professionals, we look for data scientist professionals, we look for data engineers, and we look for big data analysts. And each one of those has a different set of skill sets that can help us gain understanding from the databases that we're navigating. On the right hand side, we also have next, we have AI and machine learning specialist. If you're somebody that likes to work on the back end of things, that you like to program and create things, maybe you want to look into becoming a machine learning specialist or an AI specialist. And there's subsets of that depending on the industry. There's cybersecurity specialists, there's specialists that specialize on the medical field, and they build AI and machine learning models for this. And everything that you build also has to be looked at, right? Everything enters through our eyes. So the careers of the future are also going to need user interface experiences, what we call UI and UX designers. Um, every time you go into a website, you interact with the website. So that reason why you're able to interact with it so easily is because there was somebody there who thought about your experience online and designed something for you to be able to interact with it. So in the careers of the future, if you're into design, if you're somebody who likes to make people feel and understand something, you would want to be a designer. Or if you want to build software or solutions, you can also be a software engineer. And lastly, the careers of the future are also going to be for teachers, content creators, and marketing. The people who do all these things that I'm talking about have to be taught some way, somehow, right? So you can also be a teacher and you can also create content. Some of you already create content, I'm sure, in your social media, but also companies do it professionally. We do it for the companies that we work for. And this, in summary, are some of the channels that you could possibly take. What you have to do is you have to introspect and decide what industry do you want to go in. And once you realize what industry you want to go in, then you can decide, okay, in this industry, I would like to work in relationship management. I would like to be a project manager. I actually would like to be an engineer, or I'll actually like to be in data analytics or as a scientist, or I would like to let that show people and deal with their experience. And I want to be a designer, or I want to create the experience. So I want to be a software engineer, or I want to teach. So when you think about AI and the careers of the future, just think about it very carefully as to what you want to do. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare to receive it. So make sure you get an education on data analytics, data science, or AI, because you will be using it in the future. And lastly, guys, please take care of your mental health. Take time to think. because we're living in a world that's throwing us a lot of information. So make sure you take the time to think about you and your mental health. This is me. My information is here, my website, my Instagram. I also have a podcast on data science and AI. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And with this, I finish my presentation.